Hey everybody, welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Mike Gamble.
And I'm Nick Kinzel.
And joining us for another episode is our official graphic designer, Dalton Good. Dalton, thanks for joining us for another episode, buddy.
Heck yeah. Thank you guys for having me on. So, again, glad to be your new official graphic designer. Hope you all like the new logos, by the way.
Oh, we absolutely love them.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
Dalton made our new official Stock Car Spectacle logo. He actually made two versions of it, which I really, really love. And he made a logo for Ian's Pit Stop, Kinzel's Classroom, and he's working on one for the Gamblers Picks right now. So we're very excited. Dalton, thank you very much, buddy.
The contract has been signed, boys. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Noah Gregson for giving us this idea.
Hey. All right, and we're digging into another edition of Kinzel's Classroom. Professor, take it away.
Saddle up, boys. Class is in session. Welcome back to another edition of Kinzel's Classroom here on the Stock Car Spectacle. So for the past couple of weeks, we've been talking all playoffs, and this week we're gonna do a little segment called "Who's Hot, Who's Not?" Playoff Driver Edition. So what we got today, we got two drivers who are hot right now, two drivers who are not hot right now, and then one driver who's kind of in the danger zone of not making it to the round of 8. So we're going to start this one off simple. Who's hot? The first guy on my list is that one car of Kurt Busch. We talked about last week on the show how we really haven't seen the race winning speed out of this one car. And then here he is going out there, getting his first career win at his home track, Las Vegas. Yeah, he caught a break of getting that caution during that wacky pit cycle, but he was able to hold off Matty D and the faster cars charging through the field on those final restarts. And like I said in our Las Vegas review show, that race kind of reminded me of Austin Dillon's Texas win, where that clean air really helped Kurt Busch win this race. But kudos to Kurt. He's riding hot through the rest of the round of 12. How far is this momentum going to take him? Ian and Dalton, what do you got?
I really got to say Kurt is hot right now. Like you said, he did kind of catch a break with those green flag pit stops, and that caution came out, and he was still out. But he did overcome, holding off the field with two cautions that came out, and he had to hold off a really fast Matty D and Denny Hamlin to get that win. So I got to say Kurt is running hot. He doesn't have to worry about a damn thing for Talladega and the Roval, but I feel like he's just going to be very, very aggressive because he wants to get that win at Dega. He has never won at Talladega, and the Roval, I'm like I said, he's already won, so who gives a damn? He could just do a full send into the heartburn turn and not give a crap. So Kurt Busch, hot.
Okay, so here's my take on this. Kurt Busch is obviously hot, okay, right now. He finally got that win. At first he wasn't because, we didn't know where Kurt Busch was, but, this is what he does every year. He always waits around, just gets that one random win somewhere, and it just happened to come in Vegas. A little late this year, but overall, he got that win. He's on to the next round. But what I want to know is how long is he going to be hot for? I would love to see Kurt Busch in the Final Four. I really, really would. I would not mind if he won the second championship, but with the tracks we're going to, I just don't know if he can hold it off quite good. I mean, maybe Kansas and Texas, I could see him probably getting a decent run, try to get him some stage points, but Martinsville, the round of 8 cutoff, is the only race that kind of concerns me. Kurt Busch is not good at Martinsville. I remember when he hated it with a living passion back in the day. So, yeah, again, I would love to see Kurt Busch in the round of 8, but, he definitely is hot, and he doesn't have to worry about anything at Talladega or Charlotte Roval. But I'm not sold on him until I see what he can do in the round of 8. But I will say this, though. If he does get this win at Talladega or the Charlotte Roval, I'd say watch out because he actually might make a championship full run.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. I didn't see this win coming. I don't think any of us did because the race winning speed for the one car hasn't been there. I think he's going to ride this momentum high, but I just don't know what that next round's going to hold in store for him. I think for him to advance to the championship four, he's going to have to go out there and put a solid race winning performance together in that next round. And I just don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see. Kurt Busch, you are hot for this week. Second driver on the who's hot list. I'd have to say the 88 car of Alex Bowman. Through 4 playoff races so far, Bowman has been top 10 in 3 out of these 4 races. We've talked heavily on this show about Bowman cooling off significantly from his sizzling hot start to the 2020 season. P5 at Vegas sits +9 above the cut line heading into Talladega, where we know those Hendrick Chevys run fast there, and then heading into the Roval, where he's run well in the past. So, how good are we really feeling about Alex Bowman's chances of advancing to the round of 8? We'll start with Mike, and then we'll go to Dalton.
So, he's an odd one because I don't really feel confident in Alex Bowman, but I don't have any real logical or statistical reasoning behind it. Just like you said, Nick, the Chevys always seem to be pretty fast at our super speedways. Chevy's really got that package figured out this year. Hendrick Motorsports is always awesome at Daytona and Talladega. So you would think that would make him, an odds-on favorite to do well there. Same thing with the Roval. He's had very good showings in the Roval in his career as well. So again, you would think that logic would tell you that maybe he would be a pretty solid play there. But for whatever reason, my gut is telling me that there's just no good ending for Alex Bowman in this round going into the round of 8. I can't see him, especially with Kurt Busch kind of playing spoiler. I can't see him moving on. Again, obviously, weirder things can happen because we just saw Kurt Busch win, and I didn't necessarily expect that to happen. So I suppose it's in the realm of possibility we could have an Alex Bowman win. But I don't see him advancing. I think he's hot right now because he has performed well. But I'm not going to go ahead and be like, oh, yeah, he's riding this momentum into the round of 8. I just don't see it.
All right. Dalton.
Okay, so Alex Bowman's like a hot and cold driver. Like he's been hot and cold all season long for me. There are times where I'm kind of confident about him, and there's a lot of times I'm not. I don't know if that'll be the case for this year. I mean, this is kind of tough for me to answer, to be honest. I'm going to go ahead and predict that the round of 8 cutoff, like the final transfer spot, I think is going to come down to Alex Bowman and Kyle Busch. I will say this about Alex Bowman. He does not do a good job at surviving Talladega, really. I feel like if he possibly can and get like a top 10 finish, I think he should be okay for the Roval. I mean, I have a better chance of seeing him move on to the round of 8 at the Roval than Talladega. So, yeah, Alex Bowman. I want to say I'm not sure.
Yeah.
He's
you're struggling with it the same way I was, like the exact same thing.
He's one of those hit or miss drivers, really. It's either he's going to go out and he's going to perform well or something's just going to happen to him. So we're just going to have to see about Alex Bowman right now. So now we're going to get into the who's not list. And the first driver that comes to mind here in the round of 12 is that 10 car of Eric Almirola. Almirola had a consistent round of 16, scoring top 10 runs in all 3 races, but he did not have the start to the round of 12 that he was hoping for as he crossed the line, P17, and now sits 27 points below the cut line. Almirola has been really good at Talladega the past few years as he won there back in 2018 to advance to the round of 8. But in the end, you never want to have to fall back on Talladega to be your saving grace, as we all know anything can happen there. And all I have to say about Almirola is if he does not run good at Dega, he can kiss his chances of advancing goodbye, because in 2 races at the Roval, his best finish is 16th, and that's just not going to cut it late in these playoffs. Mike and Ian, Eric Almirola.
Yeah, I mean, Nick, you hit the nail on the head with this one. The only real saving grace for Eric Almirola is that Stuart Haas has usually had great team strategy at Talladega. We've seen when we go to these super speedway races that team orders and manufacturer orders are kind of paramount in today's modern style of super speedway racing. So with that being said, like you said, his best chances, the SHR cars all hook up together, knowing what situation he's going to be in, and try to do what they have to do to get him into victory lane. But also, like you said, is banking on a perfect Talladega race really where you want to be at in the playoffs? I would say absolutely not. So he's one I have very, very little optimism in going forward that he's going to make the round of 8. I'm honestly surprised he made the round of 12. I didn't think the playoffs were going to go well for him. So I would say at this point, anything we get would just be a surprise as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I think that Eric Almirola is going to be quite in trouble in this round. Like you said, he can really only depend on Talladega at this point. We know he's a really, really good super speedway racer. Um, but I really don't think it's going to work out well for him. Like you said, he does not do well at the Roval. Anything can happen at Talladega. So if something like that happens where he gets caught up in the big one, you can kiss your playoff chances goodbye, bud.
Yeah, pretty much. So the second driver on my who's not list, I hate to put him under here because he's ran well the past few weeks. I gotta throw the 3 team of Austin Dillon under the bus here. Austin Dillon was a surprise driver in the round of 16 as he finished top 12 in all 3 races, 2 of those resulting in top 5 runs. After he got stage points in both stages Sunday night at Vegas, but then things started to take a turn for the worse with the 3 team. He wound up finishing 32nd, 7 laps down after having those mechanical issues with the car. And now Austin Dillon, because Kurt Busch won, sits 32 points below the cut line. Things just don't look good for him as in 14 starts at Talladega. He has just 1 top 5 and 3 top 10 finishes. And the Roval doesn't get much better for him either, as in 2 races there, he has finishes of 39th and 23rd. So for him to advance, he's going to need some of that round of 16 luck to get him to the round of 8. Dalton and Ian, what do you got to say about that?
Austin Dillon is definitely not hot. I'm starting to think it's over. I said this back in the round of 16 in the group chat. I thought I could have swore Austin Dillon and Ryan Blaney like switched cars. Like Ryan Blaney, should have been in the position Austin Dillon was in, and Austin Dillon kind of should have been in the position Ryan Blaney was in. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of expected it to continue a little bit in this next round because Austin Dillon actually runs pretty decent at Las Vegas. I remember him and Tyler Reddick had like really good top 10 consistent runs there in the past couple races there. And of course, he did have another one. I mean, he was running top 10 all day long, had a shot to get a good finish and get some points, but just an unfortunate situation of car overheating. Like, did he run over something that like knocked something loose or?
Something broke because they were under the hood on pit road for all that time. So yeah. Something broke.
Yeah. So I mean, I did expect with Las Vegas and Talladega that it would probably continue. He'd have a shot to get in the round of 8 or run consistent enough to get into the round of 8. But after this, I just don't see Austin Dillon rebounding at all. I mean, I could definitely see him winning Talladega. I really, really could. It really would not be a surprise to me. But I'm going to go ahead and say right now, if he does not win Talladega, I mean, even if he finishes second, I don't think it's going to happen. Like, he has to win Talladega or it's over. So because I do not see him doing anything at the Roval. So,
oh no,
Austin Dillon, I'm sorry, your playoff hopes are done already. I think your season's over.
Yeah, for me, it's hard to put him in that like not hot range because what took him out of this race was a mechanical problem, and we saw he was running top 10 speeds. He was getting stage points. So it's really hard to put him in that not hot because it was something completely out of his control that took him out. But he is in a really scary spot right now. Like you say, he's 32 points back with that Kurt Busch win. So he's really got to rely on getting a win at Talladega or somehow getting it done at the Roval. We've seen Austin Dillon late this year just look fast at tracks that we thought he was complete crap at. So
right.
I wouldn't completely write off Austin, but the way that it has started with him being 7 laps down in that first race, it's not looking good for him. So I got to say he would not advance.
Yeah, see, the only reason I put him in the not hot situation is because he's now 32 points below the cut line. That's almost putting him in a must-win situation there, and he runs like dog at the next 2 tracks, so he's kind of in trouble. So now we're going to talk about our danger zone driver. This guy, he's in, I wouldn't say he's totally screwed, but he's got to be in trouble here. Dalton, you're the guest honor, so I got to say it's the 18 car Kyle Busch. So while he only sits 9 points below the cut line, the next 2 races have not been kind to Kyle Busch in the past. In 30 starts at Talladega, Busch only has 8 top 10s. Granted, he has 1 win there, but still, not great numbers there. And in 2 races at the Roval, he has finishes of 32nd and 37th. He said after Bristol that he didn't see himself advancing. So Dalton, is he correct? How are we feeling about Kyle Busch right now? And this is for everybody. This is this question's for everybody.
really
Dalton,
have
your
to do
face
this
is
to me, man?
priceless right now. This is the
Dude,
best thing we've ever done.
Did you really have to do this?
I had to do it to you, man. He's our danger zone driver.
Welcome
Oh,
to Stock Car Spectacle family, Dalton. Everybody's open for it.
Oh, this hurts. This hurts. This hurts. This hurts worse than the Tennessee Florida Hail Mary in 2017. Oh my god.
Oh.
Okay. All right, let's just go ahead and talk about it and get this over with.
This is the best thing I could have ever done.
I hate you guys so much. Okay, everybody shut up. Okay, so, all right. You know what? I am not confident at all. I never was confident. I admit it. I knew we were going to get eliminated in the round of 12. It's about to happen. I'm just going to go ahead and say it right now. I mean, it could have been worse though. Like you said, at Las Vegas, he had all those troubles. He got that contact with Joey Logano, thanks to Denny Hamlin, and then issue with the pit gun on pit road. But I mean, I thought it was over. I mean, we were 17th car at best, after that race, but he somehow came back and finished 6th. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, where did he come from? I'm like, well, okay. But then I started to get excited, but then I realized, oh, wait, Talladega is on the schedule next week. Never mind. I am never getting hyped for a super speedway race ever again, and here's why. Kyle Busch actually has been bringing fast cars to the super speedways lately.
Yeah, last time we were at Talladega, he looked really fast.
No, seriously, yeah. Same thing at Daytona 500. He was 18 laps away from winning the Daytona 500. The freaking engine blew up, and gave Joey Logano a little middle finger.
Yeah, that's when you became famous on Twitter. You got 9,000 likes on that tweet.
500 likes and about 100 retweets in just 5 minutes, by the way. So anyway, and of course, we go back to Talladega in June. Fast car, him and Ricky Stenhouse were doing very good together. Ricky Stenhouse is a better teammate than Denny Hamlin is, and they're not even teammates.
The unlikeliest of pairings.
Yeah, and then freaking talentless Glenn Half decided to slam into us on pit road, and then the pit crew decided not to listen when Kyle had a tire rub and left him out there for the tire to blow out. And then we go to Daytona back in August. Fast car, he's leading, 8 laps to go, and then Tyler Reddick just makes a stupid blog, worse than Joey Logano blog, and that's kind of saying something right there, and just wiped Kyle out. And you see, this happens every single time we go to a super speedway race from now. It's kind of normal, so I'm just going to go ahead and expect it. We're going to have a fast car this weekend at Talladega, and then we're going to get screwed with round 10 to go. So listen to this. When the race comes down to 10 laps to go, I'm going to say, all right, when's it coming? When are we getting screwed? Just give it to me right now. And then, of course, the Charlotte Roval, best finish was a 32nd.
37. Yeah, 32nd. 32nd.
Nice. But I will say this about the Roval, though. In those 2 years at the Roval, those 2 races kind of really didn't matter to him because in 2018, he won at Richmond, already locked himself a spot into the next round. And then last year, I mean, he had all those playoff points. So, he really didn't care. I mean, he ran good, though. I mean, he ran top 10, but, like I said, he just had nothing to worry about. So, I kind of have a feeling that when we go to the Roval, I mean, he'll have a different approach. So, like, he'll want to run a lot harder, especially if he's still in, below the cut line.
Is that Roval race when he just said, like, fuck it, I'm done, and just went backwards on pit road?
Yep, I don't blame him. And I think after this round, I think I'm about to do the same thing. Talladega, I'm not looking forward to the rest of this round. And to be honest with you, if we get eliminated, it doesn't surprise me. I've said all year long that we're round of 12 at best. We're kind of going to have to be lucky to be in the round of 8. But again, though, it could have been worse. He could have finished 17th at Las Vegas. He would definitely be in a must-win situation right now. But for him coming back to finish 6th, 9 points out is not bad. You can recover from that, no doubt. But you're going to have to survive. That's been the goal of the round of 12. I know he can't win in the round of 12. So what he's going to have to do is survive. If he can survive, then let's go to the round of 8 and try to get the championship 4. And if we make it, great. If we don't, we'll try again next year. So
all right, Mike.
So
all I got to say about that.
Dalton kind of led me into my exact kind of thought about it. Was just the idea of you just got to survive. If you look at the playoff standings, it's him and Bowman are a 9-position swing. Then the next closest driver is Boyer at -20. So while attainable, it's not really realistic to think that Boyer is much of a threat at this point, other barring some craziness at Talladega. So really, I think to me what it comes down to is, can Kyle Busch survive and find a way to make up a 9-position deficit to Alex Bowman? And when you look at the situation through that lens, I almost feel a little bit of optimism for Kyle Busch, because Alex Bowman to me kind of has always had a little bit of that Clint Boyer of all right, when's this going to go south here? When's this going to get screwed up? So if Kyle could just have an okay day at Talladega and get himself within a couple points, who knows what could happen? I mean, or maybe even take over the lead, get a stage win or some good stage points. I mean, to me, is the way I look at it, it's going to come down to him or Alex Bowman. And like I said, when you analyze the situation through that lens, it looks a lot more favorable for the 18 than it does the 88.
All right. For me, last week on Kinzel's Classroom, I wrote off Kyle Busch in the round of 12. I still think that he's going to get eliminated. He's 9 points below the cutoff line. We're going to Talladega, and like Dalton said, he has that bad luck mentality when he gets there, and he just gets screwed any way he can. And the Charlotte Roval has not been kind to him. So, I just do not see the 18 car going to the next round. It's really weird to say. It's been a weird year. 2020, Dalton can agree that is just been the most messed up season for Kyle Busch, but it is just very, very odd to see last year's champion just tank like this.
Yeah, it's just odd. I mean, well, we all know how Kyle Busch and Adam Stevens work. They're definitely not having any practice or qualifying kind of killed him a little bit, because we know how Adam Stevens likes to go with his race cars. But yeah, I wrote off Kyle Busch as well, and I'm going to stick with that. I don't think he's going to have a good Talladega or a good Charlotte Roval, so I'm going to write him off too. I wrote him off in the beginning. I'm going to write him off again. Kyle Busch, I'm sorry, buddy. Dalton, I'm sorry, buddy, but it's the way she goes, man. So I think that's going to wrap it up for us here, unless you guys got anything else to say. Class dismissed.
I got one little thing to add. Dalton, take note of who was the only one that was optimistic for your boy. There was only one of us.
Even he wasn't optimistic.
I appreciate that, Mike, but don't care.
You don't care.
I'm broken, okay? That's all I gotta say. BROKEN, broken.
Oh, jeez. Well, at least the Vols are carrying you.
It's Vols, by the way. Yeah, they are the only team that can make me happy this season. They finally got the win against the South Carolina Gamecocks. I love it when I beat South Carolina. It's just so sad that Tennessee, the number one team that gives you freaking heart attacks. You think the Chicago Bears give you heart attacks? That team right there gives you heart attacks. You have to sit there and think, are we going to win? Are we going to choke? What's going to happen? They have found a way to make me more happy than Kyle Busch, Nashville Predators, and the Carolina Panthers combined. I guess that's 2020.
A statement.
That's something right there.
You know it's 2020 when the Tennessee Vols are making me more happy than all my other sports teams. So, but go Vols, yep.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Kinzel's Classroom on the Stock Car Spectacle. Dalton Good, thanks for joining us again, buddy. You guys can find him on Twitter and Instagram. He is Kyle Busch's #1 fan and Joey Logano's #1 hater, so make sure to remember that when you give him a follow, because he does not hold back. He does not hold back.
I offended so many Joe Logano fans this week, so I just want everybody to take note.
Yeah.
and do I care? Absolutely not.
Oh, man.
You can follow me, Nick, and Mike on Twitter and Instagram as well, along with the Stock Car Spectacle accounts. Make sure to give a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for content that you'll get notified on your phone. Make sure to follow our podcast platforms. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. So that'll do it for us, everybody. I'm Ian Jortson.
I'm Mike Gamble.
And I'm Nick Kinzel.